Welcome to the Dexter Show. You're not going to believe this. Guess who's back in town? Live from Bellevue, Washington. My very dear friends, the Nappy Roots. Say hello, everybody.
What up? What's good?
So, for new audiences and new friends, why don't you each introduce yourselves?
Right here, this is Fish Scales, Nappy Root representative.
Oh yeah, Vito Banger, White Wine Sipper. Going down and I'm reporting live from Seattle.
Absolutely.
Yo, what up, y'all? This is Skinny DeVille, the Blues Traveler, Nappy Roots representative. Chillin'.
Exactly. And what a show last night, guys. Numos, full house, unbelievable. Seattle. Thank you so much for your presence and your generosity with the show last night. It was incredible. I caught up a little bit with them last night, so I just want to jump right in. Tell me about the album, the latest. What's up?
We got a new album out in stores right now called The Pursuit of Nappies. Check it out on iTunes. You can go to naproots.com, click on the link, it'll take you right there to it. Best Buy, FYE, your local mom and pop, support independent hip hop shops and music, man. And you know, it's probably one of our best albums to date. You know? Wow. And I say that every time I make an album, but
yeah,
this really is a really good album.
It's a good one. So you gotta check
that out. I say everybody out there, please go get it. If you like real hip hop, southern hip hop, or just reality rap, we are probably one of the most underrated premier groups to really be able to do it for a decade long and still be together and make music. So we're not going anywhere. So whether you get it illegally, you show up at the show and get it, or you just know about Nappy Roots and tell 10 people. Just tell everybody right now, albums in stores.
Exactly. In addition to that, they've got this hot app that I just downloaded last night. Nappy Roots, check them out on your smartphone, and you can follow the tour, follow the music, the blog. Very, very impressive. And it's free. So what? What are you going to complain about? It's crazy. So moving forward, you're all over the country, obviously, on tour. The next show is Portland. And after that, where will you be heading?
Off to
Eugene, Oregon. Okay. And then you're going to be dipping down into LA,
California,
toward the 5th, 6th.
Yep.
There.
Yep.
So check them out, August 5th, 6th. What's the venue in LA? Which one is it?
NorCal.
Oh, yeah, it's in Northern California days, of course. Well, that makes sense because of the...
We're doing San Fran and San Diego. Then we're swinging back through LA to hang out.
Oh, okay.
And then we're doing like Santa Barbara or something like that too.
Santa Barbara, wow. Great market.
San Jose,
okay.
There it is.
Yeah, that's the beauty of live television. Anything can happen in a restaurant, right? For the first time that you're doing you have a special feature on this record. What's the story? Who is it? And how did that happen?
Well, yeah, you're right. We've never really had a feature on a Nappy Root album because there's so many of us fighting for spots for songs and verses. So if it's an open verse, someone's gonna get it before you even think about even letting someone else jump on it. But on this album, there's an artist by the name of Alien Craft who's formed a big market of backwoods. You might Google that or just Google Alien Craft. He's a phenomenal artist out of Atlanta, real humble. We met him through our producer / DJ Soul Messiah, and he's a very talented artist, and he shows a lot of promise, and he's got the underground scene in Atlanta bubbling. And we had so many songs with him that this was just one that just happened to make the cut because it was just a great record.
Okay.
And Chops produced the track, and pretty much they cut the record. He came to Nappy Roots Day in Louisville last year, and he just stayed in Clutch's basement, and Clutch had a studio in his basement, and he just went to work. Wow. So naturally, it just evolved to that record sticking on the album, and so when it came down to cutting with songs, that song just stayed in the pot. Right. So naturally, it's like, well, we got to break tradition. Mm-hmm. Normally, we don't have people featured on the album, but now this is a phenomenal verse. It's a phenomenal record. And it was no question amongst the guys that are not on the song, but the guys that are on the song, that it was any kind of doubt that his verse needs to come on for someone to get on. It wasn't like that. It was just,
Right. Very cool.
So, he made the cut, and, I'll say check him out. He has a lot of records with a lot of artists in Atlanta. He's blowing up. Check him out with SMKA. He's on tour right now in Atlanta on the Stargazing tour. Alien Craft, SMKA. And, hopefully we can work with him and, distribute some of his future projects.
Nice.
To our distribution company where we have a fun time. So,
Nice. Live from Monsoon East, Bellevue, Washington. great information. Tell me about this the Nappy Roots movement. You know, what is it, and how can people get involved with it? I've been hearing some things. Tell me about it.
I think the movement's been going on for a while. You know, it started when we was in college. You know, we went to college in the late 90s. And when we started, the name was just on a shirt. And you know, it was this guy right here. This logo right here was on a shirt. And you know, it kind of just took off from there.
Okay.
We made a bunch of shirts for the fraternities and sororities and their colors. They liked it and loved it. We had a record store that we hung out at every day, and from there people came in, was able to really buy music from all over the country. And that's how the brand Nappy Roots kind of got to become a household name.
Nice.
And then from there, you know, the evolution of Nappy Roots, being signed to Atlantic Records in 2000, really putting out an album in 2002, the first one. Really, you know, evolving from 93 to 95 to 98 to 2010. There's a lot of people that we've met through college and through our relationship that just, you know, we're not going to stop, so we're going to keep putting out music, and those people, they can relate to it, so they follow us and tell people.
Yeah.
And we put out product and shirts and merch, and we try to put out as many things as we can that we're allowed to do, or able to do financially and whatnot. You know, and over the years, it's become, you know, my mother, you know, had her Nappy Roots, and I took it from. I remember growing up to you guys. My older brother played y'all when I was growing up. I remember I drove my first car and record listening to Nappy Roots, or, you know, I remember the hardest period of my life, and you guys got me through with your music, or just being honest and real, and we hear that a lot, man, and that's what keeps you going. Whether we get illegally downloaded 1 million times, or 100,000, you know, records that we sell, it's people that are impacted and influenced by what we say and how we live our lives. And we try to stay true to what we rap, because we think that reality is more important than, you know, fantasies.
Yeah.
You can wish and dream and daydream, but reality, people that can relate to reality tend to accept it more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So for that music that we make, there's a lot of people that live that life.
Yeah.
That walk that walk, and it's very easy for them to have a common bond, which is just, you know, paying bills and taking care of kids and tired today. Don't want to get up and go to work, but you got to, because if you don't, you know, there's a lot of different effects to that. But we rap about these things, and over the years, people have come to really, you know, support that.
Yeah.
And so it's evolved into a movement. We started off as just a t-shirt. We started off as a bunch of college kids just smoking weed and drinking.
A concept.
And being signed to Atlantic out of Kentucky, to selling 1 million records out the gate, to getting off Atlantic and still fighting through that and still staying together as you know, young men then to grown men now with families and still putting out music.
Yeah.
It is a movement.
Yeah.
And you know, for that, we can't stop doing what we're doing, because people rely on Nappy Roots to get them through their days. And that to me is worth more than any dollar that can be sold.
Exactly.
You can give me $1 million, but that one person that says, you know, you helped me through, I'll take the $1 million too, don't get me wrong. But to hear that helps when I don't make the $1 million. You know what I'm saying? It still gets me to the next day saying, you know what, this is for you, because shit.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm straight. Like, you know, I don't have to want for anything.
Exactly.
But you might have to really, you might want something.
Yeah.
And for that, you know, I'm making this music for you as well as for me to keep my sanity.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Well, you're right. Everyone has a Nappy Roots story. I can tell you mine. I mean, when you guys broke, I forget which video show I saw it on back then, but when you first you know, came out, I was sitting there and I thought, that is the realest thing I've seen in hip hop to date. And I forget what year that was, but I thought, my God, these guys are just so. It was just, I mean, it was like.
But a movement, like anytime you got a movement, you got something different. Like in order for it to be a movement, it's got to be something different. And with us, like in the game today, when people like artists, just it's like a gap between artists and fans. Like we don't really have that gap.
No.
We just like flat out, just as real as they are. You know, like no jury that nobody can't afford. We riding in the 15 passenger. You know, it's just real life issues that we deal with. Yeah. And I think a lot of people really can relate to that, and they very approachable. Just make it easier. You know?
Exactly.
And that's what keeps the movement going.
Yeah.
People are really a part of it.
Yeah. No, I've gotten that sense from the very beginning of you guys. So congratulations to you for that.
Thank you.
One more question, if I may. You know, you obviously with the touring and so forth, you've got strong ties with a lot of different markets and so forth, but especially in Seattle. I was wondering, how did you meet Sonny Bonaho? Seattle's own Sonny Bonaho. How did this happen?
It was last year, maybe 18 months, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We were kind of in the same circle of a management pool and word of mouth. You know this cat named Sonny Bono, he's on the underground scene.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, probably got told to Sonny, you know this group named Nappy Root. And he brought it together.
Wow.
We did some West Coast dates. And Sonny was like a distant cousin
Yeah.
in the beginning.
Yeah.
After he got off the tour, it was like, yeah, that's like, that's my mother's sister's boy. You know? So, big ups to Sonny.
Yeah,
Man. He fit right in. We
Yeah.
was glad to get to know each other.
Exactly.
He introduced us to Vietnamese soup called pho.
Yeah, yeah.
And we really went from there, man. Got a lot of love for Sonny.
Nice.
Yeah, big shout out to YZ. YZ put me on the phone with Sonny. Like, first time I met YZ, he was like, you got to meet Sonny Bono. And he was like, you know, right away we started talking about Sonny coming on tour with Nappy Roots.
Wow.
Like, Sonny's a hustler. He can really help in a lot of ways with what we was doing. So,
Yeah.
true enough, he came on the road with us, and all of it came manifested.
Wow.
You know, Sonny, that's
Yeah.
a brother of ours, man.
Exactly.
Big shout out to Sonny Bono.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, once again, thank you guys so much for swinging through this side of the country and having another lunch with the old guy. And really appreciate you guys coming through.
It would have been a real disservice if we came through here and didn't really get a chance to sit down and fellowship with you. And, you know, eat the great food you guys, you know, are making, man. Like, I'm blown away by this type of service, the quality of the food, the style, you know, the elements, the stone, the wood, steel. Like, these are things that I really look at and pay attention to in detail. It's good to chill out. You know, we do gotta get on the road here shortly, but
Yes.
you know, to get a good meal in you, because we eat a lot of fast food. We
Yes.
come on the road,
Chicken,
you know,
time. Exactly.
to get a good meal, man, it means a lot, man. So I
Exactly.
think it's an opportunity
Exactly.
for it.
Well, thank you so much. We're taping a little crispy drunken chicken right now, and gonna have a nice lunch before they're on their way to the Portland show. Thank you so much for dropping in, and man, follow their tour, follow the adventure, Nappy Roots.
Yeah, check us out, nappyroots.com. You follow us on Twitter, Nappy Roots, Facebook. All the links are there. All the places you want to get to know about Nappy Roots is all right there, man.
Absolutely. Well,
Keep it
very
nappy.
good, guys. Thanks again.